Welcome to the GS Mindset Podcast. Today I have a diva, a hottie. You might not even recognize her because she does not show her face with all this glam. I lie. She's such a diva. She's always glam. She's always fabulous. I think she has more clothes than anybody that I know in town to go out. Marissa's here with us today. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. Marissa, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from.
So I'm from South Carolina. I lived down here in Georgia for about 6 years. I am a only child from a single mom. Come from a very big Italian family, very close knit. Um, was in the army for 6 years. Got out of the army, went to school for my nursing degree, got my associates in nursing. I've been a nurse for 6 years. Got my bachelor's, and right now I'm currently working on a dual master's. So my master's of science in nursing in like leadership and informatics, and my MBA.
Wow.
So
You
yeah.
have any time for yourself?
Um, I have some time for myself. Like I had to learn when I was working on my bachelor's because I can be very like single-minded and focused that I have to like create time for myself because like all work and no play makes Marissa a very dull woman. And I do get a little bit stir crazy in my house, so for sure.
Okay, well, tell us how old are you?
I am 35 coming up, so let me think. Oh God, I'm 34. I'll be 35 in June. I feel like almost age is a number. Like once you get past 30, it's kind of like irrelevant
It is.
to an
I feel like
extent.
my 30s were my 20s. It's like I 20s
Mm.
don't count because I was still acting like a fucking teenager. But on my
I,
30s, I became my 20s. I enjoy life.
yeah, I feel like that's how it's been for me. Like I really understand when they say like your brain is not fully developed till like 25, because I look back on like early 20s Marissa, I'm like, girl, why? My Facebook memories like haunt me. But
I mean,
it's for I keep Facebook for like my family. What they see on my Instagram, no one needs to see that, but unless you like really know me. There's like two different personalities there. But yeah, like my Facebook memories, they haunt me sometimes and they humble me greatly. And it really keeps me like on track with like how far I've come in my life.
well, let's tell our audience here because we're gonna listen in Spain and other countries. They do speak English very well, by the way. I don't know if you like an European man, but I do want every man to know it's very rare in other countries to see women that have so many achievements at such a young age. Because you're 34, already serving the army. What was your MOS?
I was at 25 November. I did communications with air defense units.
Okay, awesome. So she is a vet. All I did in the army was party, so I don't take any credit. All I did was got me a ranger. That's it. That was my accomplishment. Eh, but
I did did
that's
that too.
cool.
I definitely
It's been a lot
lived
of
the
fun.
barracks life.
It's a lot of fun in the barracks. Anybody can tell. Oh, and cheers, cheers. And I will
Cheers,
give
Mama.
you GS care package for being on the podcast. I can't wait to see you.
Oh, sweet. Love
What
that.
a lot of people don't know about you looking this fabulous and glam is that Marisa is actually a power lifter. She
I
is
am.
a competitor and athlete as well, on
Hmm.
top of all of her career and amazing achievements. Tell us a little bit, because that's when I met you. We are all gym girlies, and we were so deep in. She was. Her and Allison were in on this big powerlifting thing. What is powerlifting?
So powerlifting, it's honestly you got your three major lifts. You got your deadlift, your bench, and your squat.
Okay.
And coming out of my divorce, I needed something to like channel my energy into, and I needed structure. So I ended up linking up with my coach. Her name is Victoria, and she was
I love her.
fantastic. And I remember that we love her so
We
much.
love you,
And
babe.
I remember the first time like I sat with her, I was like, I need to get my shit together. And I'd heard wonderful things about her, and I knew that she was going to be the person that would kind of keep me on my toes. And originally, it was just wanting to work out because I needed something
Movement.
to pour. I needed to pour love back into myself. I needed to pour caring back into myself because I had been missing that for years. Um, and then I was at the wonderful gym here in town. It's called Body Evolution. It's owned by Matt and
We
Chelsea
love
Powell, who
bodies.
we also love.
Yes, we love.
And I was seeing all these amazing athletes, and they were doing strongman, powerlifting, and I was just in awe. of them and how hard they were working. And I've always joked that I've been built for work, not speed.
I can't relate.
So it was just something that just kind of came naturally, and I've always been really like strength driven. And I just dove like right headfirst into it, and I loved it. It's been it's been a while since I've had a competition, about a year since competition, because I had an MCL injury on my right knee, and that took a long time to recover from. But I'm getting back into it. The rehab has been slow, but I've gotten the green light from like the orthopedic surgeon. He's like, "You're good to go and start lifting again." So I'm really am like looking at trying to dial in for probably another competition in February. So.
So when was that? When did your, because all of us started a fitness journey. It seems like when we hit rock bottom. I did
Hmm.
myself after my thyroid surgery. I gained so much weight. I was an alcoholic and I just blowed up. You know,
Hmm.
hypothyroid and then no thyroid. Forget it. I said, I'm gonna go to Planet Fitness. That's how I started. I started at 33. That was the first time I stepped into the gym. Because if you know me, if you know the army, you really don't go to the gym. I never did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No.
I want to make sure you were also not at the gym, not do PT was pointless. Never did it.
Yeah.
I was drunk and was forced to run. But that's it. I had no endurance. The fact that you actually competed, how long did that take for you to go from I'm starting the gym, or were you always at the gym prior to powerlifting?
So, I want to say I started in January of 2022, and I was in my first competition in a year. So, I want to like, I think I probably told her, I want to say probably like 4 months out of the competition, because we did it down in Panama City, 4 months out of the competition, that I wanted to compete. And so she completely changed my entire program and started doing all these like insane things. And I'm telling you, like, I had so many significant emotional events like prepping for that competition. Like, anyone will tell you, whether it's like bodybuilding, powerlifting, strongman, any type of competition prep, like the mental is almost as worse as the physical. Like, I can do any workout, but the mental preparation to get there and the motivation to get there, like that's the grind.
And so powerlifting, I guess you also had to be on meal prep. You also had to
Hmm.
eat certain things like a
Hmm.
specific program. It's very
Hmm.
challenging because you can't skip the gym. You can't skip
No,
a meal. It's insane
no.
the dedication that you all have. And on top of all this, you did this while going to school and working as a nurse.
Hmm. Yeah. So it was a lot of like balancing and like having to force myself to find the time. And I think that especially like when you're going through something so hard, like I was with my divorce, like it's so easy to just want to like stay at home. Put on your comfy clothes, like put that feel good movie on and like just shove popcorn in your face or dive into a bottle of wine. Because like it just the day to day, like stepping outside of your house can feel like a monumental. So you really have to like push yourself. And at the end of the day, like it was an act of love for myself.
It
You
is.
know,
It is.
it was I needed to pour back.
Every time that you choose yourself, every time you say no to something that you don't want to do, every time you say, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want, and people,
Hmm.
can judge you, it's choosing yourself. It's pouring
Hmm.
into your cup so you can pour to others. And not only that, you're a nurse, so you're daily giving yourself to the care of others. You actually interact with people every day. They depend on your mood, your energy, and
Hmm.
taking care of yourself. Because I'm sorry, I tell this to my best friend. She listens to the podcast. She's a nurse. I'm like, I really would not take advice from you. You're a fucking mess. But I mean, she's a baby. So luckily to her, the NICU babies cannot tell her, I'm not listening, you crazy. I really want people I take advice from people that are taking care of themselves. So much
Yeah.
better, right?
Yeah, it's I mean it's a struggle because like you're right, like I do spend my career is taking care of other people,
Hmm.
and then like coming home and like then you're like, oh man, now I got to take care of myself. Like I give it up to my friends that have like families and husband and kids.
No kids, thank the Lord.
So if I have those nights where I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna eat a whole box of mac and cheese and call it a night, like I'm fine with that. I'm okay.
It's
No,
your choice, right? It's a your
yeah,
choice.
yeah.
Now tell me.
So,
Mhm.
hmm,
So when you pour into others, you have to make sure you pour into yourself.
yes. And you know, it's so nice because like occasionally like you get those patients or those people and they're gonna like it's like God will speak to you like through other people sometimes, or the universe will speak to you through other people, and you get those patients sometimes, and they just pour as much love back into you as you're giving to them, and that really makes it worth it. Like it really does, and you can leave. I can leave work knowing like I did what I was supposed to today. So, but yeah, you have to like pour into yourself, and you can't give to others if you're pouring from an empty cup. You can't have the emotional bandwidth for your friends if you yourself are struggling.
Right. And tell us, going with that specific quote you just said, how many people, and this is just, I'm just saying that you see, right? You see the outside. You don't know what's happening behind closed doors, but from experience, from your own marriage that did not work out, how much did that empty your cup on a daily basis? Because
Oh,
people don't understand that being with the wrong person or being
hmm
with the wrong circle of friends will drain you
hmm
faster than crack.
yeah. I'm a firm believer in like you are the company that you keep. So if you surround yourself with people that aren't trying to like be the best versions of themselves, like it's going to affect your life. It's going to slowly kind of creep its way in. Um, and I definitely felt like with my ex-husband, like I was pouring so much of myself into him, and to what he wanted to do, his likes. He was really big into motorcycles, and that slowly like took over our lives. So it wasn't just a hobby, it was a whole lifestyle. And that's not really like how I was raised, but because like I loved him so much, I slowly started to like compromise in things because I thought like, oh, if I'm cool with this one thing, like he'll love me enough.
Mm-mm,
If I continue to be permissive of like him riding out on his motorcycle 4 to 5 nights a week, that's fine because he's still coming home to me, right? Because he loves me. It was so much. So my grandfather told me one thing. It's called like boiling a frog, right? You take a frog and you put it in a pot of hot water, it's going to jump out because it's hot. So what you do is you take the frog, you put it in a pot of water, and you slowly turn up the heat until one day the frog doesn't know that it's literally boiling alive. And for me, like when I really look back on my marriage, I think about like how it was slowly, I was just boiling alive and I didn't know until one day like I just woke up and realized like my life was not what I wanted. It was not what I had agreed to, like when we had set our vows, like everything we had talked about. Like I had slowly chipped away parts of myself, parts that I loved and I held dearly, because I thought that that's what that sacrifice was supposed to make a marriage work, that you're supposed to fight for love. Like I look back on it now, like I don't want to fight for love. I want a gentle love. I want love to come in and just make me feel home. I think we confuse fighting with passion. And if you're not fighting, you're not passionate about your marriage.
mm-mm.
I don't want to have to fight my partner.
That is so right. Like, look, I even got you gave me the chills. I have a quote that I wrote down the other day because I feel like I you are such a romantic. Out of any friends that I know of seen, I feel like us women no longer are like super lovey-dovey or home
Mhm.
caring. I mean, I'm Latina, so I was raised to take care of your husband, but you do it with love. Like you want to care for your man. You want to pour into. You want to be a good wife. You want to be in love. You want that rom com. You still believe on that type of love, which is great. Which is why you escape that. And it
Yeah.
says right here that I was born to be a lover, but I've been a fighter my whole life.
hmm
And that stuck with me because it's like, what am I fighting for? All I have
hmm
inside of me is love to give to others. So we put ourselves in the situations where we're fighting not only
hmm
for love, but for things to work out that are never gonna work out, baby girl.
Yeah.
It's just
And
accepting that.
I agree. Like I talk to, because I'm a big pro therapy person. Therapy for
Are you
everyone.
gonna tell me? Here's my
There, yeah, therapy for everyone.
therapy.
Um
Everyone today, welcome to the
And when I talked to my therapist, like coming, that was like one of the first things I did. Like once I knew like I wanted to like leave my marriage, I immediately enrolled into therapy. And my therapist, like she like warned me. She's like, listen, she's like, you've been living in fight or flight for years now. So she's like, do
wow.
not be surprised if all of a sudden you're just gonna like sleep for days. She's like, and it's not a lazy sleep. It's just your body is finally able to relax. And like, I didn't believe her. I'm a very type A busybody like person. And, but I'm telling you, like, when it finally like hit, when I moved into my own apartment and I literally had a mattress on the floor because I left like with my clothes, my books, my dog, and I think my favorite soup pot. And I had a mattress on the floor. I remember that first night of sleep, I slept so good. Like
Wow.
just that deep, dreamless sleep. And I just felt so rested for the first time. Like, I know, peace. I wasn't waking up with like nightmares. I wasn't waking up in the middle of the night, like alone in my bed, wondering where he was, if he was dead on the side of the road or with someone else. Like the stress was just gone. And it felt so good. And I think that first night of like pure sleep was really kind of what motivated me to be like, okay, well, what else? What else is going to happen to my life? Like what goodness is going to come from this? And I'm going to tell you right now, I would rather sleep alone and sleep peacefully than have someone in my bed that's going to sit there and wreck my life. I'm good.
No stress. I support that. And not only that, I feel like I had no idea this was the reason that your marriage ended. It was that was there were there any infidelities that you can talk about, or was just
So,
you
um,
believe that there
there,
were red flags?
there was other women.
Okay.
I found messages.
Oh
I found
no.
text mess.
F you.
Yeah. I found messages. I found text messages. I saw his Instagram, but what's funny on his Instagram is he was like messaging other women and nobody was responding, so that kind of made me giggle.
What
But
a
I think the most like hurtful thing is I found like a string of messages between him and there's like a bartender here in town and was talking about her daughter. And he was saying, he's like, tell your daughter I'm a good man. Tell my future. I remember that future. Tell my future that I'm a good man. And like a part of me just like died reading that on the inside because I was like, you beat yourself up. You're like, what's so wrong with me? Why am I not your future? Like, why are you telling people you're a good man and you're out here married, running the streets? Like it just like reading that really like kind of clicked it in my brain that I was like, this is what I'm hitching my wagon to. Like this is the man like I was, gonna have a future with. Like this is the man I compromised on like having children with. Like
I was about to say, do
it
you know
was
how lucky you are? How you dodge a bullet. You dodge a bullet because I've had friends that have found infidelities after they had kids
mm,
and they still can't find the courage to leave. And now they blame it on the kids. Blame it on the alcohol, blame it on the kids, blame it on his income. Whatever you blame it, the problem is you, baby girl. And that's
hmm
just as a relationship coach, not as a friend. The moment you choose you, it's
hmm
when things are gonna change. That man is
hmm
not gonna change. They might even
yeah.
start cheating because I do believe people change. I do believe that, but
hmm
the damage is done. Can
hmm
you would it, if your ex would have stopped all that and said, "Honey, did he try?" I don't even know, but let's put this.
So
If he says, "I'm gonna delete my Instagram. I just want you. You're the love of my life," would have you give him a second chance?
I actually did give him a second chance, but
But you
I
didn't.
know, I know, I know, I know, I know. I'm terrible.
No, you were in love.
But
You believe in
but
hopeless romantic. That's you.
yeah, and I really wanted to believe that he was the man that I had fallen in love with. But I realize now that I was so in love with his potential and
Mm,
not the man that I saw in front of me. And that's I think the biggest issue I see with some of my friends is that they're so in love with the potential of a person that they're not willing to accept the person that's in front of them. Like you gotta have to I feel like especially at our age, like you have to accept people at face value. Like they're gonna show you who you are and you have to believe that. Like so I did take him back. I even like I wrote this like beautiful letter like talking about how much I loved him, and then I put stipulations in there, like you're gonna find therapy, you're gonna start wearing your wedding ring, you're not gonna be out and about in the town the whole time. If I ask to see your phone, like you're gonna show me, because I was never an insecure wife. Like it never crossed my mind that he was like out there like doing dirt. I was annoyed that he was out with his friends all the time, but I didn't begrudge him that. Like he was a working adult, I'm a working adult. I think that everyone should
you're in
have
control.
individual hobbies.
Yeah, you're in control.
Yeah. So, we tried the therapy. Like he started wearing his ring. He stopped going out as much. He was still very heavily involved with motorcycles and his friends. Um, but if anything, all he did was just get sneakier. And it
Mm.
all eventually, like, it comes out. What is done in the dark will come to the light.
Always, always, always.
Promise you.
Yeah, that's why
And that's why when it came out the second time, like, I was so mortified. And like for myself, I didn't really like tell anybody like what was going on because once you kind of put stuff out there, you can't take it back. Like you are a master to the words unsaid and a slave to the ones that you put out.
isn't that
So I
when you play yourself when you
I
can't
think that
face the reality and you're so ashamed of
yeah,
it's you. The guilt is with you. Your friends, the funny part is that your true friends are not going to judge you for being a
no.
pendeja. We're just going to tell you you're a pendeja. I hope my friends tell me everything mistakes that they make. I'm still going to love them, but
Mhm.
tell me because you hiding it that made you even a bit felt worse. Because now you're living with
And
guilt.
and then I had to come to realize like this was his shame to carry, it wasn't
Not
mine.
you.
No, no. Like, and I know a lot of people have that stigma of like, oh, I didn't get married to get divorced. Baby, no one does. No one gets married with the concept that they're going to get divorced. But sometimes, like, to
And
truly like love yourself, you have to. And I've worked really hard to not be that like bitter divorcee for my friends. Like, if they're telling me that they're struggling with their marriage, like I'm not the person that's me. Like, you should divorce them. Like, no, I don't want anyone to get
don't tell
divorced.
anybody divorce as I'm married. Leave
I like
them.
I just because it was so hard and heartbreaking and painful. I would not wish any of that to happen on my friends, but you know what? I had to choose the hard of being in a marriage that was not loving me fully, of a man that wasn't supporting me, that wasn't, taking all this goodness I had and to be so thankful and grateful for it and like mirroring that effort. Like that was hard. And I would have rather chosen to be single and live that hard life of being single than just to be trapped in a marriage where you're just not appreciated and every day you're getting like ground into the dirt.
And honestly,
So,
say it for our louder for the people on the back. All the girls that are afraid. Gabi said it on her episode. Great, because she was forced. She was literally kicked out of her marriage because she would have not left. No matter how many
yeah.
times she just did not. She would have taken it till the end. But
Hmm.
luckily, they made that choice for her. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's a blessing because the universe knows you deserve something better. So if you
Yeah.
don't have the balls to take the decision and put yourself first and leave and suffer a little bit just to value yourself, maybe I'm praying that the universe makes it happen for you because you are worthy. And tell everybody how hard, because I'm sure it's hard to start from
Mhm.
zero, and then we go into statistics, the finances, the places to live, the work, that I'm
Mhm.
alone, all that. How when did it get good? So people know there's light at the end of the tunnel after
Yeah. So I'll say like my divorce, like I did it honestly in stages. Like
okay.
the first time that I found him like fucking around, like I'm a very logical person when I can't process things like emotionally. And I like made a list of all my bills. I made a list of all my bank accounts, everything that we shared in common, and I had it saved on like to the cloud, like this file, and I I had it saved as like the exit plan. That's what I called it, the exit plan. Because like I wanted to know like if I had to leave, could I do it? Could I handle it financially? And then of course like, we did the whole we're gonna be better, blah 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 therapy. I love you so much. I'll never do this again. And I like just kind of let it sit there, but I never deleted it because I wanted it to know like it gave me a sense of like safety. And that's why like the second like that he did that again, I was like, okay, we're done here. And
That's why
I was gonna ask him for a divorce, but that night he got into like this massive motorcycle accident and like almost killed himself. It was awful.
it's called
Like yeah, he was supposed to have been like home with me that night, but he was out with his buddies and I got a phone call from a stranger at like 1 a.m. telling me they'd found him on the side of like the road in a culvert. And we took him, like he spent a week in the hospital and I like was there trying to hold everything down. And I stayed for like another 2.5 months because I did not want to be the person that like left him while he was basically like crippled.
yeah.
And because that's just like I loved his parents. And I still do. Like I loved his family. And even though he treated me,
You're not a
huh?
bad person. You are not a bad person. So
Thank you. And even though he was like treated me awful and put me in these awful like situations, like I still wanted to show love and kindness and grace where there was none. So I stayed until he was like well enough. And this point in time, like I was travel nursing, so I picked a contract, and I ended up telling him, I was like, hey, I was like, I want 30 days, 30 days of separation. And I was like, don't call me unless it's about our dogs, money, or someone died. And like once he saw me kind of like hit that stride, he was like, I don't want to do that. I was like, at this point in time, I don't care what you want. This is what I need. And I remember that first week because I was living in Atlanta, which any girl going through divorce, go to Atlanta. Go to Atlanta for 30 days. And I
I'm
remember I
taking
took
notes.
my
I'm taking notes.
I remember I went and I took myself to the Atlanta Aquarium because we had been living in Georgia for almost 3 years, and all I wanted to go do was see the damn whale sharks. That was it. I wanted to see the whale sharks. So I took myself to the aquarium within that first week, and they have this huge viewing room where you sit there and you see all the fish, and you can get wine at the aquarium. So when I got myself a plastic glass of wine, I put on like some music, like some calming kind of music. I sat there and I watched the whale sharks for like 2 hours, and I just thought and processed. And then I realized like I had been waiting for a man to take me to see whale sharks when it could have been me. Like, and it was just the smallest, simplest thing. Like, I could find love and do these things for me. I didn't need someone else to hold my hand. I didn't need someone to take me to go do these things. I was able to do it. And that's what really kind of started to give me the courage to step out, like, and start making those like solid plans. So I said that first week I knew I was done. I knew I wanted a divorce. So the other 3 weeks it was literally me making plans. I told my mom what I was doing. I told my best friend because I needed support in it, and I didn't want to feel so alone. Even though divorce is,
You need all the help.
yeah, divorce is literally like one of the loneliest things that you can do. And I started looking at apartments and
Wow.
just kind of budgeting everything. And it was terrifying. Like you go from being in this relationship with somebody that you think is the love of your life and that you would hope that they would be the father of your children, and you're going to grow old and die together and get thrown in a hole together one day, to all of a sudden having to face the what if, you know but I found like a lot of strength in honestly my girlfriends. Like I could not have done it without any of them. And every time that they would pick up the phone and listen to me cry or just like be my soundboard, like the amount of love and support and respect and kindness that they poured into me when I was so empty. Like I hope to God that one day I can be the support for them that they were for me, for somebody if they're going
You
through the same
are.
situation.
I'm sure you are. You're a girl's girl. I will say that. You
Yeah.
are a girl's girl.
Yeah.
And that's so important. Camaraderie. How do you say camaraderie? I don't know how to say
Camaraderie.
camaraderie. Battle buddies coming from the army, just having someone that has your back. Whole
Hmm.
reason why I created the Good Energy Squad is like, talk to me. I don't care if I don't know you. Reach out to me on Instagram. I have people telling me stuff, random stuff that is happening to their lives. I'm moving. I'm like, good. Is they probably have nobody else to share the news with. That's awful. You need people to be there for
Yeah.
you. Most
And I
definitely.
didn't really know anybody that had gone like through a divorce.
Well, how old were you
So,
when you divorced?
um, let's see. We filed in 2021 and it was finalized in 2022. So I was 32. So I've been divorced about 2.5 years now.
So you stayed through COVID, huh?
Yeah. And I mean, you realize like divorce, right, or a marriage breakdown, any type of relationship breakdown, like it doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's very rare that it's like completely like one-sided. And like I do recognize now, like through a lot of reflection and therapy, like being a nurse, like through COVID, I was not the best version of myself. I don't think many people can really look at 2020 and be like
And
happy
say
with how they
same,
conducted.
same. Yeah, no, nobody was in their right mind.
Yeah, like I was such like an anxious, like sad person. Like work really took it out of me. And I'm sure that that really didn't help
The
our marriage.
relationship. Okay, but I will say this again, and I learned this in school. in time, you and your couple are gonna grow. I feel like we live
Mhm.
in this stupid bubble that we think that you're dating the same person that you meet, right?
Mhm.
And time and people change. So you
Mhm.
either evolve or you stay stagnant or you grow
Mhm.
together or you find those different hobbies that you're like, you know what, we're growing
Mhm.
apart. I don't like bikes. Like my husband hates traveling the world. I'm not taking him. Why would I force him? I take myself. I do things that make me happy, then he does stuff that make him
Mhm.
happy, and then we come together. And maybe one day we won't come together. And I'm not obviously manifesting that, but you never know, right? We all
Mhm.
evolve in adults. And in a lot of
Mhm.
relationships, you feel bad when you're on empty, but you're supposed to have a person that has that other half. Like,
Mhm.
there's no way you both can be fucking around and expect that the marriage is going to be great.
Mhm.
You are allowed to be the bad one for a moment too. We
Mhm.
all have bad times in our lives, and your partner should understand that. Okay, this is the term for her to be crazy, and
Mhm.
and then you accept it. That's the only type of support. And I'm not saying like him, go cheat, and then it's your turn to go cheat. No, no, no. It's just it. Don't blame yourself for not being
Mhm.
there on that 2020. You had to be
Yeah.
vulnerable. It's not you.
Yeah. It was like, and I do to hit on what you said about as far as like we're supposed to grow together. I mean, you're right. Like when we dated, like nobody marries to get divorced, right? Nobody wants to marry is gonna look at somebody and be like, "Oh, you're a jackass." Like put a ring on it. Some people do, but I don't. Um, but when we got married, like we had all the right conversations, you know? We
You fell
checked the
in love with that
boxes.
person.
Yeah, yeah, we talked about kids, we talked about religion, we talked about the life that we wanted to build and like live together. And then unfortunately, like once we got married, like I felt like the curtains were kind of thrown back and a lot of things and the things that he valued in his life really started to come like up. And it was honestly it was a lot of stuff that like I it would make me compromise. Like he used to go to church with me before we got married. And then when we got married, he stopped. Said he didn't believe in it. You know, we had talked about children before we got married, and if we had a son, we were going to name it after his grandfather. And then we got married, and then like about a year and a half in, he tells me he doesn't want kids, he's never wanted them, and it was just like eye opening to me.
That was very
And
nice.
yeah, like it was and you know, I hung in, I'm not gonna lie, like I hung in because I was like, I would look at these things and I'd be like, I can love him through this. I can love him through this. Like we're gonna be fine. We'll work it out. But then there comes to a point where you realize that you have loved someone through everything and they really haven't loved you back.
No, it's a lie, and you fell in love
Hmm.
with a lie. That's the
Yeah.
hardest part.
Yeah.
You understand life changes, health issues. I think you understood. I
Hmm.
can understand career changes. I can understand that. My
Hmm.
husband is not physically fit to have kids no more. He even
Hmm.
got a vasectomy, and I'll get those choices. But if it was
Hmm.
just because he was being an asshole and just not appreciating that, maybe I do want a kid. But he always told me the door's right there. So if you
Hmm.
make a point, I want you to have kids if you want
Hmm.
kids, not just ruin your life and let me,
Hmm.
it's my way or the highway. It has to
Hmm.
be that option, I feel like, on relationships, and be very clear on what each want and how much can you tolerate. That's the
Hmm.
whole thing.
I truly feel that he was slowly kind of going through this like self transformation. And by the end of our marriage, the way like it had broken down, like he was the man that he has always wanted to be and to live the lifestyle he's always wanted to be. Unfortunately, I was kind of collateral damage for that. So like if this is who he really was, like I support you in that. If that's how you want to live your life, like I can't be mad at him doing that. I can be mad about how he went about it, like dragging me along on there. Um, but it's hard to like rationalize in your brain like the anger that you have for somebody, especially when they've like wasted years of your life, but also still kind of wanting to support them in how that they're living their life.
Yeah, there's
You know, if it's something that's truly bringing them joy. So that took a lot of like time and thought to kind of be at peace with that and realize like it was nothing that I could have done
no,
to have saved our marriage. There's nothing that I could have, gave up or sacrificed anymore that was going to stop him from becoming who he wanted to be. And even now, like I still think about it sometimes, it does frustrate me, but I truly do like wish him the best in his life.
you
And I
got
hope that like he's truly living the life that he wants to live now and not like hiding. Because like sometimes I do wonder like if our marriage like was him trying to conform to something, the image of what marriage should be.
Here's the thing: there's nothing wrong with contentment. A
Hmm.
lot of people see it as a bad thing, but you got to be content in order to be happy today. Um,
Hmm.
so you can accept certain things that are in your 3D reality, but you can always aspire for more. But that doesn't mean that today won't be good or that your marriage was not good at that moment.
Hmm.
It's just that he had another life, he had another
Hmm.
vision, and that does not include your wishes. And when
Yeah.
you're in a relationship, it does. I repeat, has to be 50-50. Okay.
Hmm.
And I'm not talking bills because we're queens. We're here to
Hmm.
get supported, honey. I'm sorry. If you come with me with the 50-50, I'll be like, are you like men? I mean, do you like both? I don't know what to ask you. And this is not even, I love my gay friends, but why would I support a man when I grew up in a very Latino community when the man is the man and I'm the woman is the woman? I'm not a feminist. I don't want to support a man. Do you?
So have you heard about like living like in your feminine energy, right?
Yes.
Like
I
I
love it.
want to be that girl. I want to be the
I
soft
love it.
girl.
Yes,
Like
we
I
want the soft girl era. We want to be cooking. She cooks bread for the love of God. What was that thing you made the other day that looked so fucking good? She put like the rosemary in the steak and shit. I'd be like,
Oh yeah, I make a really good pan-seared steak with
oh my
risotto. Like
God. Yeah,
I
you think
love
she
I
needs to
love to
pay
cook.
bills? She don't need to be paying bills.
Yeah, I want to live like in my soft girl energy. Like I want to live in this feminine energy.
Right?
But unfortunately, like there's this quote. It says that weak men create masculine women.
I don't want to be masculine.
And I'm not saying that that's not bad. I think that there's times in your life when you have to have that masculine energy, especially like if you live alone. Like ladies, like we have to know how to take care of ourselves, how to defend ourselves, how to stand on our own 2 feet, to advocate for ourselves. But daggum, like I miss just being able to have a man
The
that will be like,
blunt. The
let
blunt.
me fix that for you, or just, hey, I'll handle that. The day that a man can come into my life and be like, please sit down, I got this.
You know what? We're taking
Like,
it right now. We'll take this podcast. She's single. Any plumber? Plumbers make $300,000 a year. I repeat, a plumber can plumb this pipe over here. I will say, oh, did your iPhone die? What happened?
no, my headphone fell out.
Oh, it's okay. I just lost it for a minute. It's okay. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. I was like, oh God, I ruined it.
You're going nowhere. It's okay. People know there's always technical.
Okay.
It's good luck. So, again, plumber, super handy. The other thing I want to make sure, one thing is to have a provider man, and another thing is for that you have somebody that aligns with your vision. So,
Mhm.
and I say that all the time because a lot of us girlies that are very independent, I've been always on myself. We're hard to be soft, but we also have a lot of goals. So your
Mhm.
goals are your goals. Like I'm hustling with GS because it's my vision, it's my baby. It's not my husband's vision. So I can't
Mhm.
force him to join that or even be part of it or expect him that I don't know how to say. He supports my dreams, but I'm working for me. But that
Mhm.
doesn't mean he don't need to be a man there for me. Does
Yeah.
it make sense? Because I don't want girls to think that they're just gonna be dependents. That's the word that I'm looking for. You can
Yeah.
still be working, going to school, making your own money, and take
Hmm.
care of yourself, but we still want that masculine man that is
Yeah.
like, I got you, baby girl.
Hmm.
What do you want for dinner? I'll take you on a
Yeah.
trip.
I think like so since I've been like in the dating world now,
Oh my
I think a question that I always like try to avoid when men will ask, we're like, well, what are you looking for? That is a trap. That is a trap. Don't answer it because
God.
it's like you're giving them a blueprint of how to get in your pants or how for them to like integrate yourself into your life. So instead of me like telling them like what I want in a man, I like to
one
reframe it of like
million dollars.
one
Sorry,
million
that's what you need
dollars.
to say next time they ask you. What do you want?
$1 million.
$1 million, and you're in.
We're not marrying for love anymore, baby. We're marrying for money. Um, so I like to instead tell them like how I want to feel. I want a man that makes me feel safe. I want a man that makes me feel like feminine and delicate because like I am a sturdy girl, like I got muscles, like I lift. So I want someone, that can make me feel loved and supported. Like I'm not going to tell you how to be the man that I want. I want you to show me and I'm going to let you know if it's for me or not.
I
So
get
like
that.
it's
Yeah,
yeah, and
I
it's
want money, but I don't want
yeah.
to pay and I can pay my own bills.
Mhm.
We're always very clear about that.
Yeah.
It's a difference men don't understand. We can take care of ourselves. That's no
Mhm.
problem. But I want you to care for me. And it's not
Yeah.
just the financial part. That's what they don't get. We got the
Mhm.
financial part covered, baby. Actually, I tell my husband all the time, you can't afford. Literally, you
Yeah.
cannot. You can't afford Marissa. She has hair, nails, always has pretty nails. Show us your nails. Like this bitch is high maintenance as fuck. Like, yeah, no, I don't
I
even
love them.
know this. She always has a new outfit for every occasion, even whatever it is. So and she takes herself on trips too. We don't want that. We want the security and the support and the love, and then yes,
Mhm.
by the way, your everything's taken care of for you.
Yeah. Like I want a man, I don't need a man.
That's it.
So there's such a difference. And I think that so many men, they believe that the only way that they can provide for a woman is either like a physical security sense or like financial. I have physical security. I own my own house. I have financials. I have an amazing job that I love and I make good money. So for me, like I want you to provide in other ways, more emotional, mental support, those kind of things.
But also match my
So
paycheck. Match my
yeah.
paycheck. Let's be clear here. I don't want her dating no losers. 'Cause I won't let you after this podcast. I better find out. I'm gonna ask for W-2s and everything when I see you dating someone. We need incomes.
I do think that people need to be equally yoked like financially in a way.
Thank you.
Yes, because like I don't want to ever be with somebody who makes like 10 times the amount of money I do because I'm gonna feel like a leech. Like to me, like I'm such a
I'm
hardworking
okay,
person.
baby. I'm ready for a sugar daddy.
Like I want to feel like I'm contributing to my household,
I know it
you
too.
know?
Yeah. I mean, you cook and cleaning. That's more than work. You should get paid for that. I'm just saying. Look at us. Look at us. It's our time to retire at this point.
So and I do think like I want to have someone that has the same like financial goals. Like if you're
Well,
dating someone that is like a spender and that's what they do versus like somebody who wants to like save everything, like those two are going to come in conflict. And like finances are like one I think like the top three things that like rips marriages apart.
for divorce. Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
finance, cheating, obviously, and
I
kids.
think kids. Yeah.
Oh my God, we both said it. It's those three things that destroy a marriage. So perfect.
Yeah.
That's why I kept my vagina closed for production.
So it's so yeah, like I'm telling you, it was a journey, but like I'm so thankful that I went through it.
Yeah.
Um, and I think the hardest part, like coming out of divorce, is you really think to yourself, like, I promised to love someone for the rest of my life. I said they were my soulmate. Like I gave them the best version of myself at the time. Like all the best, like you are right, like I'm a huge romantic, right?
Yes, she's.
All my favorite poems, all my favorite songs, like all the sweet
Give
things.
her a letter at this point for any.
And you think to yourself, like coming out of it, like, how am I gonna do that again?
Yeah.
How how am I gonna love again? Um, so it really had to take me some time because like coming out of a divorce, girl, I didn't want to look at a man.
Mm.
I didn't want to speak to one. Like I was just so like
You got vibrators, people.
my husband was replaced with a ladder and a vibrator. I'm good. I need anything else.
Just
And
leave
then when
it.
I started like to date, when I started to like date again, there was just like it was more so my tolerance level for anything like you sneezed in the wrong direction or you typed weird or you misspelled a word. Yeah, immediately I was like absolutely not.
Wow.
And so it took me a while to really kind of come at peace with it because like I think the one thing that when I went through my divorce I remember just thinking to myself I was like God like don't let this change me. Don't let this harden my heart. Like, don't let me turn into somebody that is hateful and spiteful and just angry all the time. I think grief is real
Hmm.
and grief looks different on everyone. And you're going to grieve 1,000 different ways going through divorce. You're going to grieve your marriage. You're going to grieve the life that you thought you lived. You're going to grieve the children that you never had, the family holidays. Like, and it's just going to come in waves. But you grieve so deeply is because you loved so much. And once I came to terms with that, like that depth of love, I was like, why? I still have so much to give. And by not opening myself and being ready to love again and having that really to offer to somebody, all I was doing was harming myself.
Yeah, you
So it,
inside of you.
yeah. So it took me some time, probably about like almost like 2 years to finally be like, okay, I'm ready. Like my cup is filled up. I'm ready to put myself like out there and actually like date with intent.
Okay. So
And
relationship. You were ready to take the step on relationship, not just
mhm,
looking around.
yeah. And I did. Like I met a wonderful man.
Okay.
We had like, I was very honest about my marriage, how it fell apart, how it affected me, how much I had grown. He had kind of gone, he was telling me about like his prior relationship, and like we had like a wonderful time together. Unfortunately, like that relationship ended, and we both kind of went our separate ways. But I'm gonna tell you what, like the amount of growth that I saw from that relationship ending versus like my marriage blew my mind with how I handled it.
Okay.
Yeah, like
How did you handle it? And was there, were you, the real question here, did you fall in love? Are you a crazy
I
person?
did.
God
No,
damn.
I did.
And how fast?
I
How fast do you fall in love after the first kiss? Because there's girls out there that do it. I'm sure I have that effect on women too and guys.
I fall in love with you every time I see your picture. So,
No, I'm serious.
um
How was it? Was it like you're like you knew?
like it happened like honestly for me it happened it was like breathing air.
Wow.
Like I just remember I just like looked at him and I knew that I had like loved him before about like 2 weeks before I like finally said it. But the thing was is we were like in Vegas and we were drinking and I was so afraid that I was gonna be drunk and be like, I love you and like ruin it. Because like no one I wanted it to be special and like romantic. So like
You're
I
so
was gonna like
romantic.
so I wanted to wait because we were going from Vegas to Alaska, and I wanted to like to stay in Alaska around the mountains and stuff like that. But I was so afraid of being drunk and saying it like just kind of like off the cuff that like I told him like our first night in Vegas. And it felt good. Like I told him and I didn't expect him to say anything back because I wasn't saying it to get a response from him. I wasn't saying it in the hopes that he's going to love me too and make me feel good. It was because I had something to say, and it was like to love someone. It's so special. Like, why wouldn't you want to tell someone that you love them? I tell my girlfriends I love them all the time.
You can die tomorrow. I say people I love them all the time.
Yeah. Like, it's to share that. Like, I didn't want to hide it. Like, I had joked with my friends, like, I'm going to make him say it first. But then, like, what I had to offer was just, it was kindness, it was generosity, it was charity, it was the best part of myself. And I wanted him to know that I loved him, that I cared for him. So like I think I like kind of overthought it like going into it, but like once the words were out of my mouth, it felt like breathing air. I was like, okay, I probably should have said this 2 weeks ago. But like it felt good to say it. And even now, like now that we've been broken up for a couple, oh god, couple 2-3 months now, um I'm just proud of myself. Like I don't have those thoughts anymore of like how am I ever going to tell someone I love them again? I know I will.
Be very open with your feelings. Um, Mostly when it's a new relationship. We're adults. We're not. You're no
Mhm.
longer 20. We're dating to date. You know, if you're, I will assume people on 30s don't want just a booty call. You want to be at home. I mean, yeah, I'm sure that's what I would do if I am ever single again. I'm just gonna fuck and fuck. So hide everything.
Well,
But
that first like year and a half for me, girl,
oh,
I
bounce,
should have got stock in Tinder.
bounce back. Yes, throw it.
um, but yeah, like I think dating in your 30s now is so different than your 20s because like I like I said, I'm dating like with intent. Like I make it very upfront. And it
Right,
blows my mind when I meet people and they're like, I don't know what I want. My brother in Christ, you're 37.
right.
What do you mean?
What do you mean you don't know what you want? You
What do
need
you mean?
401k set up. Show me your 401k. You're about to retire in 20 years.
So yeah, I'm like, you no.
That's crazy to me. I mean, it's
Yeah.
scary, the dating. This is true. Now, on this last relationship, would you wish it would have worked out? Or you're done? You were like, no, this was not it. It was just my first fling after a divorce. How does
I
that?
mean, I'm not in love with him anymore. Um, but I do care about him, and I want to think back to like the first half of our relationship and how wonderful and like kind and beautiful it was. And I want that back. I want that back. I would love to have that back. But I think that towards the end of things, I think, you really get to know someone after a couple months. And some people just aren't ready for the love that you have to give. They're not ready for the life that you want to live, and that's okay.
They
But
don't
I'm
deserve it.
also,
They don't deserve
yeah,
that
and
person.
I'm a firm believer in like I know the blessings I can bring to someone's life. And if they're willing to look past that the first time and not want that, then I'm not going to waste my energy on somebody, my good energy on somebody that didn't believe in it and see it the first time.
And not only that, I'm sure, again, and this is just me speaking out of my ass, which is what I do. She is not only good energy, I feel like she is good energy sex. So she's probably very good and bad. And you are missing not only her good energy and cooking skills, but also all that good sex. It's not for you to miss out. Like why waste it with someone that doesn't reciprocate the love? I've always said this. Even and this is just in general with your friends, with your coworkers, with the job, you gotta be happy. You have to
Hmm.
make sure it makes you happy.
Hmm.
But that's why I created this whole space. I needed something that brought me joy and service and be of service. And actually being in a relationship and being a friend to someone is charity work. I'm seriously because you're pouring yourself, your knowledge, your time. Time is precious. And if you have a
Hmm.
friend that takes the time to answer your phone call and listen to your whining about work. I mean, Allison and I send 50 voice message a day, just like, oh, how's your corporate life? Sucks. This meeting at 11. Oh, we hate her. We know everybody's coworker is same, and you just have that time, but it's reciprocal. It's beautiful. Having dinner at certain time with your couple,
Hmm.
having a cooked meal, watch a show. Those are the things that I matter to me
Hmm.
more than I just having somebody in my
Yeah.
bring balance.
I miss like being a wife. I don't miss being married to the man I was married
Love
to, but I miss being a wife.
taking care of my husband. All of it.
Because like when like things are good, you're like having a sleepover with your best friend every night. Who wouldn't want to do that? Like the connection, like the love, the jokes, like I miss that so much. But I also know like I'm not willing to compromise like who I am and what I'm about and like all the wonderful goodness like I have like brought into my life for that.
Mm.
So I'm definitely I'm open to marriage again. Like I want that. Like I still, dream of being a mom. And, I'm what, 30, I'm 34, and that's still so young because there's so many people like that are having and starting these families like later on in their
Yeah, I'm
30s.
42. Actually,
So,
Salma Hayek and all of them didn't get pregnant. Eva Longoria at 42. I'm scared. I'm scared because I'm almost that age. I'm like, am I getting pregnant? My husband has a vasectomy, so I'm through. Who's getting me pregnant? But believe it or not, they start that. And I mean, you have all these Latinas, Sofia Vergara, they all getting married late. I'm like,
yeah.
it's not
So
over.
I no, it's and that's I think a lot of people will stay in relationships because they think I'm too old for this.
Oh,
My best years are behind me. Who's gonna want me? Like,
you're supposed to get better every year.
hmm.
You're supposed to be improving yourself every year. So if that opportunity appraises where that $1 million date tells you when you ask, what are you looking for, man? $1 million, and they say, here you go, you're ready, baby. You gotta be the best version of yourself for that million.
Yeah.
I'm manifesting this for the both of us.
And I do think that like, yeah, you want to present the best version of yourself.
Yes.
I don't want to go into a relationship like with a halfway idea of like what I want or, who I want to be. Like I want to be fully prepared for somebody. I don't want somebody that's going to come to me like half made or half cooked. Like no. You want someone that's lived life, that's had these experiences, that knows what they want and they're sure in what they want.
Now,
So life is too short to like live it halfway in, halfway out. Like
do you think people should stay with their couples because of the kids?
No. And I say that because your children deserve to see their parents happy. Your children deserve to be in, a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, we're splitting the holidays." But you know what? Your kids, you want them to grow up and see what happy looks like. Or they're going to have a very skewed idea of what marriage looks like, what love looks like. I have some friends of mine that have, gotten divorced and they're both like happily married now. And now their kids have these wonderful examples of
Co-parenting,
blended families.
co-parenting, and double Christmases. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that.
and it can be, I think, such a wonderful and good thing for the kids, especially, if you're married to somebody who has like the full intent of loving your children, that even though they're not biologically yours, that is game. That is beautiful. Like the relationship that I was in, I actually like one of the things that I was really supportive of was like, hey, like I know you co-parent, I support that, but I also wanted to like introduce myself to her.
You're where you were ready to step into the stepmother role.
I wouldn't say stepmother role. That felt like a little bit too much, but
But you
I
were ready to
wanted,
get involved.
yeah, like I wanted her to know, like the mother of his children, I wanted her to know that like I was a safe individual for your kids to be around eventually. Like I was like kind of like laying the groundwork. Like I didn't want her to question like, if I was dangerous, if I was crazy. Like I
Right.
truly wanted her to know like I was there to not only like support my boyfriend at the time and like his life with the kids, but also her. Because I'm a firm believer in like blended families. In my family, personally, like a lot of people have blended families, and it's I can be such a beautiful, helpful, wonderful thing.
Yeah.
And I've never wanted to be somebody that was like, not my kids, not my problem.
Baby mamas. I hate the baby mamas. You
No.
that was your
N-
old dick. I'm talking that's my dick now. Look, you want me to pick up the kids? I'll pick up the kids. It's okay. We're just not sharing the dick, but we can share the kids.
and that's what like I wanted to be about. Like I wanted like I'm talking about like I was all in.
I feel like
And
you're always all in though on everything that you do.
I'll take that. I'll take that. So I
It's
don't want to I
anything.
yeah, because like I think that if you're gonna, you're gonna love the man, if there's children involved, like you gotta love the kids. Like it always kind of like blows my mind when people get in relationships with people that have children and they're like, I don't want kids or I'm not about that. Like you knew what you kind of signed up for.
Right. Like we
Yeah.
can prove it now. Like let's not put
Yeah.
you in ID channel and get because I've seen it in cases. I'm a criminal justice major where they get so obsessed with the man or whatever the only solution is to get rid of the kids. Let's not do that.
No.
Let's not murder no children nowhere ever, or the ex-wife or the ex-baby mama. That is not healed. Which
Yeah.
brings me to the advice and what all of this amazing tips and thank you for sharing all of your relationships. Or Marissa today, Marissa today after two full giving yourself relationship. I feel like those two you gave it. You were all in. You gave all your love, and now we're in the dating again and you're finding yourself and you're in this healing journey because every time that you get out of a relationship, believe it or
Hmm.
not, part of you breaks.
Hmm.
What steps did you took? We know about your marriage. You went into powerlifting. What are you doing now today in the present to be happy again, to be okay?
So I think the first thing that I did differently with like this relationship versus like my divorce is I let the emotions come this time. Like my divorce, I tried to like shove them down. I was trying to like living in this like land of, oh, I'm not sad about this. I'm happy. And like that's not good. So when this relationship ended, like I just allowed myself to be sad. I allowed myself to grieve. And I read somewhere that said women, we grieve on the front end and men like it doesn't hit them till like months later. And so I kind of went through it. That first month was rough. It was awful. I but you know what, I had to like bootstrap myself up, like lift myself up and just be like, okay, like I survived my whole life without this man. I will continue to survive and live my whole life without this man, and that's okay. um so just allowing myself to process that. therapy really helped. And I started months prior to him and I breaking up. I had started to go back to church. And I grew up, I was a cradle Catholic with my family. And then as soon as like I moved out of the house, I was like, like
That's
I
right.
really kind of, yeah, I really kind of like stepped away from Catholicism. I would always joke I was a Christian with like Catholic tendencies. Um, and I had started to go back to the Catholic Church because that's what his children were doing. That's what they were built. Like his, ex was supporting that. Like he was starting to go. And I was like, if this is something that is going to be the foundation of this blended family, like we were going to build, like I wanted to support that. And so I had started going. Well, by the time that like things had ended between us, I was at the point now where it had shifted. I wasn't going just for supporting the family, but it was bringing me so much peace
Yep, faith.
that like I kept going. And I think I remember like the night that him and I like broke up, and I was like driving to his house, and I remember like I prayed to God, and I said, God, I was like, if something is not good for me, if it's not meant for me, like take it from my life. I've never prayed that prayer before, but I remember like just putting out there, I was like, this isn't good for me. If this isn't right, take it from my life. Girl, an hour and a half later, my ass is single, driving home,
Boom.
calling my mom.
For God and the universe, listen, it's so powerful. I manifest every day. You put it out there. I tell God, universe, I cannot wait to see the miracles you have in store for me today.
Hmm.
I believe it with my full heart. They make it happen. Nobody's
Hmm.
working behind you but God and the universe.
Yeah.
All in your favor. So you said to remove anything bad, and look, la cucaracha se fue.
But like from that like single moment though, like so much more good has come out of it. And like it's just I've had to like kind of like give it up because I'm such like a type A person. Like I want to know why things are happening, what's going on, all that kind of stuff like
No,
that.
let it flow. You're such a don't investigate. I really believe now. I'm in the everything happens for a reason because
Hmm.
you're hurting yourself by trying to answer all these questions. Yes
Hmm.
or
Yes, no, you are, because if you're so focused on the why of what happened, you're not accepting what is in front of you.
just
So,
accept the current situation as it is, and as I repeat to myself, out of this situation, only good will come. Out of the worst situation you can think of, because you, as a nurse, and you work ER, right? You're in the
mhm.
ER.
I've been all over the place right now. I'm on a med surge floor, but I have
It's
done
just
a couple
something
shifts in
as
the
an
ER.
emergencies where you're like, wow, this is pretty bad. And then you see the people come out on the other side. So
Yeah.
everything, absolutely everything, people has a solution. The worst problem that you think you can be solved, it will resolve itself the minute that
Hmm.
you detach.
Hmm.
Attachment and letting it go will have the resolution and the peace that you're looking for. Because the more you overthink, the bigger you're making that problem
Hmm.
and you're bringing it into your life. So what
Hmm.
it has a solution. The only thing we can't take back is dying.
Hmm. And that's the thing, like I feel like with my job I see life and death so much and how quickly like it can change. And I can spend my life being anxious and worrying for something that may or may not even happen, or I can, try and just live in the moment. And I feel like that's how I really kind of tried to reframe things. Because, like, the amount of conversations I feel like I've had with God in the past couple months, and a lot of them mostly come down to, like, hey, like, your will, not mine, I'm here. And I'm telling you, I'm starting to, now that I've kind of reframed that mindset of like what's going to happen is going to happen, I feel like so much goodness in my life that I probably didn't see before, or I just wasn't aware of it because I was so focused on like the sky falling.
The freaking bad. Focus on the bad. This is the opposite of what life coaching does. This is
Yeah.
why I exist. Because when you focus on the good gets better. And all you
Hmm.
have to do is look at yourself in the mirror. Like you, to me, in the past year, I think you've grown so much. I think we both
Thank
have.
you.
We're literally glowing and thriving. You have planted the seed, and no matter how much dirt has come at you, you keep flourishing. You keep
Yeah.
flourishing and flourishing. So dirt is not gonna, water's not gonna stop you. Nobody can stop you but that mindset. So everything that you're thinking every day is what you're gonna become.
Hmm. Yeah. I want to be like somebody that just reflects the kindness that is shown to me back. And even if nobody's showing it to me, I still want to put it out there.
Right.
Because maybe like, you ever think about sometimes like you go through situations to be an example for someone else? You ever thought about it like that?
Here's the thing. Everything happens for a reason.
Hmm.
So if you are that person's lesson, or you were the lesson and the teaching for that person to see something that moment, it was meant to be. It was meant to
Hmm.
happen. Everything is meant to happen for
Hmm.
the good or somebody else, but it's always working out for yourself. And sometimes
Hmm.
when you're like, why am I in this shitty ass situation? What is this lesson, universe? Like, I'm done. Here comes the freaking, and then I'm not even into astrology, but now I believe it all. The freaking Mercury in the retrograde, the microwave. You got me doing moon water because my friend does it for her kids to calm them. I'm like literally throwing moon water at me just so I understand what the fuck, universe. But it's okay because now I trust with my whole full heart that is for
Hmm.
my better good. And I think
Hmm.
that when you're pouring the kindness, like you said, and the love that you want, the universe. So this is what happens. Marissa has given love twice. She's given so much love. She put herself down. She overrated her feelings. She got hurt twice, three times. She's all in all the time. So there's a debt there for you. There's the scale is on your favor now. Now it has to come back to you. So
Hmm.
what you give always comes back
Hmm.
tenfold. So continue to do that regardless of what you receive because there's a debt put there in the universe for you that is
Hmm.
waiting. And I'm manifesting this for you. It's gonna come back in the ways that you not can even imagine.
I feel like at this point, like God's gonna just need to like dump a man on my front porch and be like, "Here you go." Like,
Maybe you get three. Here's the thing: you've been so good with two. He's like, here's three boyfriends. Because why? The sky's the limit. I mean, I'm really putting myself out there at this point. I'm gonna need. I got two dogs, so maybe I need two husbands. You don't know, one for each dog. Don't settle, girls. Do not settle. I mean,
no.
you can always search for more, and it's hilarious. I'm gonna read you the cards of the day because I'm a universal girly, and this were literally
Okay.
it feels like I pulled them for you today. When I surrender my will to take care, when I surrender my will to take care of spirit and the universe, I attune my energy with an ever-present stream of well-being. That's one.
Ooh.
Here's the other one. Have faith. Fear is putting your trust in the bad, and faith is trust in the good, which is what you're doing now.
I was just thinking about like how fear is such a strong thing that holds us back from the good. We
Word.
we s- we sit in our complacency so much because it's better. It's almost like the hell that we know is better than the hell that we don't.
Ugh, don't even.
And
It's so bad.
y-
I'm right there.
yeah,
I'm in that hell because I want to take a leap of faith and like
do it.
burn my reality. And sometimes, so we're so complacent. That's the word. That's like everything's so pretty. I like it. I like it here, but behind, do you have that feeling that something better and bigger is waiting for you on the other side of the door once you birth that reality?
Hmm. And the thing is like you have to trust yourself to jump.
Into
You
it.
got to trust yourself.
When it's scary to jump is when you should jump.
Hmm.
Take a leap of faith.
I agree. If like if you're uncomfortable in a situation, there's a reason why. You
Guys,
can't continue to.
working because look at this face. Why? Look at our faces. Like that is very uncomfortable situation. Why do
Yeah.
girls gotta work? That's the only thing that I'm uncomfortable with. I want to do this for free. I really wish I don't have to charge to be. I would love to give people advice to be and get them out of their head for free. Like that is my ultimate goal. Is just be of service and have a
Yeah.
shelter somewhere and just
I,
serve.
w- I always joke with my patients like I love being a nurse and I love medicine. I hate working.
Insane. Can you do it for free? Like, can we just not have bills?
Like there's days where I'm literally like I just want to like wear a dress, garden, cook dinner and like be just wait at home for my man. 100%. Like I dream about that sometime, but I also know myself like the ambitious woman that I am. I know I wouldn't be satisfied with that for a long term.
Me
It
too.
sounds good, but I
Well,
would
if
need
the dick
something.
is really, really good, if the dick is really, really good, I could learn how to make that stupid bread everybody's making. Although I refuse to bake. What is it fucking called? The stupid.
Is it sourdough?
Oh my god, I'm not jumping on that train. I
I don't have the
refuse.
patience for it. I don't. You have to feed it like a child.
Sourdough fucking bread. Like, well, you're getting dick, girl. Like, you're getting good dick. If you're baking sourdough bread for your man, Colby, this is for you. I'm calling you out. She's done that shit.
I
She,
love her.
she's done that shit, so I know she's getting good dick. There's no way. I don't love my husband that much. He ain't getting homemade bread. Nobody is. I don't even love myself that much to make my own bread when the store can make perfect bread. You did say you're Italian.
Mhm.
Tell us your favorite things to cook so people know.
Oh God. I make a really good lasagna. Like I have one of those like sauce recipes in the family. Like it's no written it down. You just kind of
Yeah,
watch
yeah, like me with
and you
pasta.
just kind of you season until the ancestor comes in and he's like, "All right, you're good." Um so I make a really good red sauce and that goes good with like lasagna, spaghetti, ravioli, stuff like that. Um I made a really good like a mushroom pasta the other day.
Mm.
Like I went and I got like I didn't take any pictures of it because I want to try and make it a little bit more pretty next time. I was still kind of playing around with it, but I got one of those like ravioli cutters.
Wow, she really is ready to marry. Like once you get to that level, I'm telling you, you and the sourdough girlies can come and steal my husband anytime. He's for free now. You can borrow it. I can let my husband at this point to all my friends. I say this all the time to my single friends because I want you all to be married and happy, and you deserve that happy ending. You pour so much love into yourself, so I guarantee you, the only thing you're gonna get back is temple. Just keep
Mhm,
doing that, and don't
mhm,
focus on the past anymore. From today on, the only advice I would give you is detach. Let it go. Let it the
mhm,
lesson pass. You're in a way better place today.
mhm.
And tomorrow is gonna be the best day of your life. Every day say that. And like man, just say it a million times. I said as soon as I wake up, today's gonna be the best day. Today's gonna be the best
Mhm,
day. And it will be.
mhm. And I truly think that like you gotta love yourself first before you go looking for love for someone else. Because if you don't know how to love yourself, how are you gonna know that they're loving you the right way? I've never taken myself on a bad date. I've never bought myself flowers I didn't like. Never went and saw a movie I didn't want to go see. Like I know how to love and date myself, so I know what that's supposed to look like. And honestly, like my girlfriends love me so hard and so good. I dare a man to match what they bring to my
No,
life.
nobody can match my girlfriend. My husband can't match my girlfriend. No, not
Yeah.
even my husband.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really hard. Like with the love that we have on the girly gym community, oof,
Mm-hmm.
it's the gym girls. Because I've never had this type of friends since if it wasn't for the gym. It's my before friends that I still love and care. They were my party friends, and
Mm-hmm.
it's different when you're in the 20s or even in your 30s, but you're still like don't have goals and shit. My
Mm-hmm.
friends now are all fucking amazing. And then they have
Mm-hmm.
their own businesses and they have kids and I'm like, what the fuck? When do you guys sleep? And they're at the gym at 4 a.m. in the morning. It's so
Mm-hmm.
inspiring that it's really hard for me to even look at another man unless you're chaining Tatum and get wet because my friends get me wet at this point. And I do love women, but that's another story. That's another sexy podcast. In the reality is how much we're doing, but we're also so soft and
Mm-hmm.
so sexy and so feminine that makes that so special. And it is Women's Month, so I'm so glad that you came this month for Women's Month.
Thank you.
Start of this month, very respectful, very successful, and very ambitious, but also a woman. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that just wants love and care, and you will receive it. It's not. Let's not say one. Let's say from now on that you will have that love that you deserve
Mm-hmm.
because you're worthy, you're loved, and you're deserved for all the love that you give to come back to you.
I love that. Thank you. Like I want to like, I really do try to be like an optimist. Like it's out there. I just got to find it and just got to be a little bit patient, maybe shake him a little bit when he finally does show up. But
I mean, you have the choice. You're either positive or I murder you. Those are the only
yeah.
two options these days with people around. There's no negative scenario because if there is, you already created it in your head. And
Hmm.
if it's in your head, it's going to happen. And it's
Hmm.
really, really hard to get it up your head. You know how you have that feeling that something's wrong and then
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
tilted first, right? And you saw it in your head and you knew it was
Hmm.
coming. You
Hmm.
started it.
And like I will say, one of the biggest like lessons like from my divorce, and I carried this into the relationship that I had,
Hmm.
is that your intuition, especially as a woman, is always right.
Always.
Always. Every time I thought something was wrong, like I said, it eventually came out like the truth of it, and I knew. I was like, oh, and it's just like another piece of validation. And they truly like do say like that your body
Get sick.
knows.
Hmm.
Yeah, it knows. Like I was so like I look at pictures of myself when I was in the last year of my marriage and what I look like now. I looked
You
awful.
look
I
sick.
looked
Yeah.
awful.
You
Yeah,
look sick.
and like I was just like I was killing myself slowly.
You're
The
that
marriage
frog.
was killing
I'm
me.
still thinking of that frog that your grandpa wants to boil.
And my body knew like I had like no sex drive. Like I went to the doctors because I thought something was wrong with me, and my poor doctor, after she listened to me, she's like, "Honey, you're stressed. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just you are so stressed that like
I
you
want to
can't
meet
even."
my doctor. I want. He's really hot.
Yeah, like I do like that. But yeah, she's like, of course, like you're gonna have zero libido. She's like, you're living in fight or flight. Why the sex is like on the very bottom of like the things that you need to worry about right now. You know, like I had gained so much weight, like I wasn't sleeping good, my appetite was awful, because my body knew that something was wrong before I was mentally ready to accept it.
Hmm. So pay attention, girls, to your
Hmm.
body, how you react to things, and the bias. It's the bias. Now that ever since I became a spiritual girly and
Hmm.
more more paying more attention to the signals, yeah, the stupid angel numbers that people make fun of, they're all true. You're like, oh wow, you start feeling bias. You start
Hmm.
feeling, ooh, this is not good for me. Or
Hmm.
maybe I should not get on that car. Listen to those because
Hmm.
you could be saving your own life. You could be
Yeah,
getting in an accident. You
yeah.
could be,
I
I mean,
I used to like confuse my intuition with my anxiety a
mhm,
lot. And so it took a while to kind of like sort through that, but like once I was able to recognize the difference between my intuition and my anxiety, it's my life has changed so much. Like the minute that I get like this bad vibe feeling, I'm like, no. Like,
that's
absolutely not.
and that's self-care right there. That is
Hmm.
self-love and true love. Every time you say no, again, of things that you don't want to do. Also, don't force people to do things they don't want to do
Hmm.
because you have to respect their boundaries. A lot of people are people pleasers. And I can
Hmm.
I can tell them, you're not happy doing this. Why are you
Hmm.
here? Go do you. Nobody's gonna hate you if you don't show up to this event. Nobody's gonna
Hmm.
hate you if you don't want to have a girls' night.
Hmm.
We're your friends. We understand you have your own person. You have to take care of yourself because that's also very
Hmm.
toxic too. Having that friend, or even the friends that, and I say all the time, that always have problems and then want to bring you in that. I already told you what you need to do. Okay,
Hmm.
we're adults and I'm going to listen to you over and over, but you're not listening. You're doing the same thing over and over and
Hmm.
expecting different results. I love you,
Hmm.
but you got to love yourself. That's the
Hmm.
advice I want you to give to anybody that you care for, as a friend, as a family member. If you see them suffering and they're in the situation that you were on your marriage and they can't get you out of that. We can't get
Hmm.
you out of the, you have to get yourself out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to make the choice.
Yeah. And you did it
So.
for yourself because I can tell you, I guarantee you, 50 people can tell you you're wrong. Stop doing that or stop drinking shit. I abused cocaine and alcohol for years. Nobody could have told me to stop until I wanted to stop.
Hmm.
I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck who I was
Hmm.
hurting. And that's sad that I was that selfish at that moment. And unfortunately, it's the truth. Then you realize, oops,
Hmm.
it's my responsibility to save myself. It's everybody's
Hmm.
responsibility to heal. And it's not your responsibility to be fixed in this broken man either.
Hmm. I am not a halfway house for broken men, baby.
Don't let him. You're a household. Okay, you're the whole fucking package. And that's how you need to act. Act exactly how you want to be treated.
Hmm.
Keep buying yourself flowers. Keep taking yourself to nice dinners. Keep taking yourself to trips because that Prince Charming is on.
Can't wait. Thank you, babe.
Do you have anything to say to the cast today or the
No, I hope that if there's a woman that's out here that's listening to this and they felt like that they're in a similar situation of mine and they've been kind of on the fence, like I hope that this is your sign. Do it. Take care of yourself. Put yourself first. So I'm telling you right now, there are miracles beyond miracles on the other side of it. And the grass is going to be green where you water it, baby. Like, go for it.
Yeah, don't compare yourself with the next door house.
Hmm.
Water yourself. Be the
Hmm.
flower you want to grow into first,
Hmm.
so then other flowers will grow next to you because
Hmm.
you attract what you are. So
Hmm.
when you start pouring so much love into yourself, and in this Women's Month, let's all pour love into each other too. Because girls, they just want to tear you out of the grass. Oh no, you're a prettier flower. Let me step on you or throw acid. I'm like, we're gonna grow again.
Hmm.
You can't change what's already written. You know what's
Hmm.
for you will find you. Just keep vibing on that frequency,
Hmm.
and you're gonna do good. Again,
You're gonna you're gonna attract good things in your life. You put good out there, it's gonna come back to you. 100%.
and be brave. That's
Hmm.
one thing. This is too. I don't even know how we survived the army. I mean,
A lot of alcohol. A lot of alcohol.
who was an alcoholic and I smoked cigarettes. Did you smoke cigarettes too?
Yes,
Oh,
I was a social drunk smoker. I'm yes.
can't believe. Look at us now, all fit and fitness. Well,
I know there was there's like this like feral part of my brain. If I have just enough alcohol, I'm like
I
it's
couldn't.
like a reflex, and I have to check myself sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, but the good dick was worth it. I would tell you. Join the army. This is a commercial for the army. Join the army today.
Junior.
Army strong.
You'll find that toxic rocket, baby. Join the army. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Get that.
Everyone does it.
Get that dick. We're all here supportive of you, dude. We're not gonna judge you. Um, we're
Nah.
super proud of you and where you're going. And stay tuned. Um, when I need you to send me photos of everything that we talked to for our listeners, so they see physically how hurt you were. Because I'm very people are visual; they need to see it. We can sit here and talk for hours of past experiences, but show them how you flourish into now, like a before and after. Okay.
I would love to do that.
Right? And remember, when nobody believes in you, you always gotta believe in yourself. That is the
Hmm.
biggest way. Okay.
Hmm.
Love you
Bye,
all.
babe. Thanks for having me.